Which religious missionaries first arrived in the Philippines? Letter A. Jesuits. Letter B. Franciscan. Letter C. Augustinians. Letter D. Dominicans. Please choose the suitable answer to the following choices in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
A blessed day, learners. It's me again, Teacher Lumaban, and if you are new in my channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be updated in my videos. This time our topic will be on social science exercises, general knowledge set A. I hope you learned something and enjoy this video. Please share it with your friends to also learn about this topic. Be safe, and God bless you always.
Commit your way to the Lord, trust also in Him, and He shall bring it to pass. Psalm 37 verse 5.
Civilization is where large ideas and tools, as well as human settlements, flourished. Where do historians believe civilization had first been born? Letter A. China. Letter B. Egypt. Letter C. Jordan. Letter D. Middle East. Please choose the suitable answer to the following choices in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is the letter D. Middle East. In Mesopotamia and Egypt, the traveler is brought face to face with what is perhaps the most remarkable phenomenon in the history of our planet, the first origin of civilization. The Indus Valley Civilization was probably an offshoot of the same movement of human evolution. The birth of Chinese civilization was certainly later and seems to have been provoked by influences originating from the earlier civilizations to the westward. The pre-Columbian Mesoamerican and Inca civilizations arose much later, and never developed many characteristics of higher civilizations. It is still uncertain whether they were wholly autochthonous. Whose philosophy gives prominence to faith in understanding the existence of God? Letter A. Saint John. Letter B. Saint Peter. Letter C. Saint Benedict. Letter D. Saint Augustine. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter D. Saint Augustine. Saint Augustine philosophy gives prominence to faith in understanding the existence of God. Saint Augustine explained the existence of God by developing a comparison of nature's animate or inanimate forms. He explains that animals and humans are both forms of nature, having body and soul. What makes humans different from a rational mind, which makes them superior to other forms of nature. Who among the Filipino statesmen was the most vocal to speak against the country's foreign policy of close association with Americans? Letter A. Jose P. Laurel. Letter B. Claro M. Recto. Letter C. Cayetano Arellano. Letter D. Manuel Luis Quezon. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter B. Claro M. Recto. Among the Filipino statesmen was the most vocal to speak against the country's foreign policy of close association with Americans is Claro M. Recto. Claro M. Recto delivered a speech essentially characterizing our foreign policy as one dependent on powerful foreign powers, particularly the United States. He eloquently lambasted the country's willingness to be used by the US for its military and economic interests and, in the process, losing its identity, thereby earning the disrespect of other nations. Among the 7 continents comprising continuous land mass surrounded by big bodies of water, the biggest, 30.1% of the Earth, is blank. Letter A, Asia. Letter B, Europe. Letter C, Australia. Letter D, Northern America. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter A, Asia. Among the 7 continents comprising continuous land mass surrounded by big bodies of water, the biggest, 30.1% of the Earth, is Asia. Asia is Earth's largest and most populous continent, located primarily in the eastern and northern hemispheres. It shares the continental land mass of Eurasia with the continent of Europe and the continental land mass of Afro-Eurasia with both Europe and Africa. The ultimate objective of the comprehensive agrarian reform is: letter A, establish once cultivated land. Letter B, ensure the cultivation of idle land. Letter C, distribute all arable lands to the landless. Letter D, abolish share tenancy in favor of lease tenancy. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter C, distribute all arable lands to the landless. The ultimate objective of the comprehensive agrarian reform is to distribute all arable lands to the landless. The comprehensive agrarian reform program sought to redistribute land not only to farmers and farm workers but also to other landless poor. Guided by the principle of social justice, it recognized the right of landowners to just compensation and provided a retention limit of 5 ha, which was the first labor union in the country, founded by Isabelo de los Reyes in July 1901. Letter A, Union Obrera Democrática. Letter B, Union Trabajadores de Filipinos. Letter C, Association of the Philippine Labor. Letter D, Association de Compañía Tabacalera. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter A, Union Obrera Democrática. The first labor union in the country, founded by Isabelo de los Reyes in July 1901, is the Union Obrera Democrática. The Union Obrera Democrática Filipina was a trade union center in the Philippines. The organization was the first modern trade union federation in the country. Earlier labor groups had been more of mutual aid societies and guilds. The organization had 33 affiliated trade unions as of 1902. Who was the leader of the revolutionary group who refused to surrender to the Americans even after General Malvar's surrender, and declared himself president and commander-in-chief of the supreme government of the Tagalog archipelago? Letter A, Macario Sake. Letter B, Artemio Ricard. Letter C, Julian Montalon. Letter D, Licerio Geronimo. Please choose the suitable answer to the following choices in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is the letter A, Macario Sake. Macario Sake y de Leon was a Filipino general who took part in the 1896 Philippine Revolution against the Spanish Empire and in the Philippine-American War. After the war was declared over by the United States in 1902, Sake continued resistance by leading guerrilla raids. Through the Galleon trade, 1565 to 1815, the Philippines had extended contacts with blank. Letter A, Spain. Letter B, China. Letter C, Mexico. Letter D, Spice Island. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter C, Mexico. Through the Galleon trade, 1565 to 1815, the Philippines had extended contacts with Mexico. The so-called Manila Galleon, now de China or now de Acapulco, brought porcelain, silk, ivory, spices, and myriad other exotic goods from China to Mexico in exchange for New World silver. It is estimated that as much as 1/3 of the silver mined in New Spain and Peru went to the Far East. How many days are demanded after the enrolled bill becomes a law? Letter A, 30 days. Letter B, 60 days. Letter C, 75 days. Letter D, 90 days. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter A, 30. The days are demanded after the enrolled bill becomes a law is 30 days from receipt in the office of the President. A bill may become a law, even without the President's signature, if the President does not sign a bill within 30 days from receipt in his office. What law enacted in August 1909 by the U.S. Congress established partial free trade in the Philippines? Letter A, Bell Trade. Letter B, Payne-Aldrich Act. Letter C, Underwood-Simmons Act. Letter D, Treaty on General Relations. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter B, Payne-Aldrich Act. The law enacted in August 1909 by the U.S. Congress established partial free trade in the Philippines is the Payne-Aldrich Act. The Payne-Aldrich Tariff Act, a law enacted by the U.S. Congress in 1909 in answer to a call from Republican press. William Howard Taft for lower tariffs. The acceptance of a bill that failed to significantly decrease rates caused him to lose the support of the progressive wing of his party. In a matriarchal family, which family member plays the leading role? Letter A, aunt. Letter B, mother. Letter C, oldest sister. Letter D, grandmother. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter B, mother. The matriarchal family, in which family member plays the leading role, is the mother. Matriarchal is a form of a social group in which the mother, or the oldest female, is the head of the family and descent. The damage to DNA that is not corrected and then replicated can occur in genetic disorders. Letter A, mutation. Letter B, pathology. Letter C, speciation. Letter D, embryology. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter A, mutation. The damage to DNA that is not corrected and then replicated can occur in genetic disorders is mutation. A mutation is a transformation that occurs in the DNA sequence, either due to errors when the DNA is replicated or as the outcome of environmental factors such as UV light and cigarette smoke. What religious institution is the only living remnant of the Philippine Revolution of 1896 today? Letter A, Roman Catholic Church. Letter B, United Church of the Philippines. Letter C, Philippine Independent Church. Letter D. Unitarian Church of the Philippines. Please choose the suitable answer to the following choices in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is the letter C. Philippine Independent Church. Philippine Independent Church, Spanish Iglesia Filipina Independiente, also called Aglipayan Church, an independent church organized in 1902 after the Philippine Revolution of 1896–98 as a protest against the Spanish clergy's control of the Roman Catholic Church. What organism would common likely be in a cold environment? Letter A. Turtle. Letter B. Walrus. Letter C. Crocodile. Letter D. Maya bird. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter B. Walrus. What organism would common likely be in a cold environment is the walrus. The walrus is a huge flippered aquatic animal with a discontinuous distribution about the North Pole in the Arctic Ocean and subarctic seas of the Northern Hemisphere. How are bats able to travel in the dark without hitting into anything? Letter A. They can disappear. Letter B. They can fluoresce in the dark. Letter C. They have supersonic eyesight. Letter D. They emit sound waves whose returning vibrations can detect the presence of objects. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter D. They emit sound waves whose returning vibrations can detect the presence of objects. The bats able to travel in the dark without hitting anything because they emit sound waves whose returning vibrations can detect the presence of objects. Bats travel and find insect prey doing echolocation. It produces sound waves at frequencies beyond human hearing, called ultrasound. The sound waves released by bats bounce off objects in their surroundings. Then, the sounds respond to the bat's ears, which are finely tuned to recognize their unique calls. What did Nelson Mandela mean to South African and the rest of the world? He gave up armed struggle and chose the peaceful way to freedom. Nelson Mandela is a world leader who is a model of blank. Letter A. Nonviolence. Letter B. Imprisonment. Letter C. Armed struggle. Letter D. Black supremacy. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter A. Nonviolence. Nelson Mandela is a world leader that is a model of nonviolence. For your information, Nelson Mandela, one of the most recognizable human rights symbols of the 20th century. He is a man whose dedication to the liberties of his people inspires human rights advocates throughout the world. Which band played the Marcha Nacional Filipino of the national anthem on June 12, 1898, during the Declaration of Philippine Independence? Letter A. Lumaban Band. Letter B. Kawit Kabita Band. Letter C. Pangkat Kawayan ng Pateros. Letter D. San Francisco del Monte Band. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter A. Lumaban Band. The band played the Marcha Nacional Filipino of the national anthem on June 12, 1898, during the Declaration of Philippine Independence is the San Francisco de Lumaban. President Aguinaldo requested Felipe to teach the music to the members of the band of San Francisco de Malaban so it could be played the next day. Julian Felipe changed the title of the march to Marcha Nacional Filipino, Philippine National March. What agency tasked to nurture Philippine arts? Letter A NBI. Letter B CCP. Letter C NCAA. Letter D NCCA. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter D NCCA. The agency tasked to nurture Philippine arts is the National Commission for Culture and the Arts, or the NCCA. The National Commission for Culture and the Arts of the Philippines is the official government agency for culture in the Philippines. It is the overall policy-making body, coordinating, and grants-giving agency for the preservation, development, and promotion of Philippine arts and culture, an executing agency for the policies it formulates, and tasked to administering the National Endowment Fund for Culture and the Arts Fund exclusively for the implementation of culture and arts programs and projects. Who were the Aboriginal settlers in the islands, prior to succeeding migrants who crossed the seas from the southern Philippines? Letter A Negritos. Letter B Bornean. Letter C Malayans. Letter D Sumatyans. Please choose the suitable answer to the following choices in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is the letter A Negritos. The Negritos are believed to have migrated by land bridges some 30,000 years ago, during the last glacial period. Later migrations were by water and took place over several thousand years in repeated movements before and after the start of the Christian era. The Spanish mestizo priest that first led the native secular clergy in the secularization movement in 1861? Letter A Father José Burgos. Letter B Father Pedro Peláez. Letter C Father Jacinto Zamora. Letter D Father Gregorio Aglipi. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter B Father Pedro Peláez. The Spanish mestizo priest that first led the native secular clergy in the secularization movement in 1861 is Father Pedro Peláez. Father Pedro Peláez y Sebastián was a Filipino servant of God Catholic priest who supported the rights of the Filipino clergy during the 19th century. He was the diocesan administrator of the Archdiocese of Manila for a brief period. What is the name of the pamphlet given by Marcelo H. de Pilar to hidden control and domination by Spanish religious priests over the colonial government? Letter A Complace. Letter B Frailacracia. Letter C Pasay Region. Letter D La Suerte Partidas. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter B Frailacracia. The name of the pamphlet given by Marcelo H. de Pilar to hidden control and domination by Spanish religious priests over the colonial government is Frailacracia. La Frailacracia Filipina is a pamphlet reproduced in 1889 by Filipino author Marcelo H. del Pilar. The pamphlet was a response to a pamphlet entitled Los Frailes en Filipinas, which was written by a Spaniard. While authority is respected, its opinion may be an untruth. Which can represent a better and more certain avenue to the truth? Letter A Overgeneralization. Letter B Fallacious reasoning. Letter C Selective observation. Letter D replication, repeat and check. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter D replication, repeat and check. A better and more certain avenue to the truth is replication, repeat and check. Replication is a cornerstone of a better and more certain avenue to the truth because it detects fraud or findings that lack internal validity. If a study cannot replicate, it is to be an outlier, a fluke, or to contain methodological flaws. Without replication, a study's findings are not evident. Who is the founder of the Local Government Code of the Philippines? Letter A. Joey Lina. Letter B. Jovito Salonga. Letter C. Joseph Estrada. Letter D. Aquilino Pimentel. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter D. Aquilino Pimentel. The founder of the Local Government Code of the Philippines is Aquilino Pimentel. Aquilino Pimentel, recognized as father and founder of Local Government Code and principal author. Who was the first editor of La Solidaridad and an orator of the reform movement? Letter A. Juan Luna. Letter B. Jose Rizal. Letter C. Marcelo H. del Pilar. Letter D. Graciano Lopez Haina. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter D. Graciano Lopez Haina. The first editor of La Solidaridad and an orator of the reform movement was Graciano Lopez Haina. Graciano Lopez Haina founded the fortnightly newspaper, La Solidaridad. When the publication office moved from Barcelona to Madrid, the editorship succeeded with Marcelo H. del Pilar. Which religious missionaries first arrived in the Philippines? Letter A. Jesuits. Letter B. Franciscan. Letter C. Augustinians. Letter D. Dominicans. Please choose the suitable answer to the following choices in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is the letter C. Augustinians. The 5 regular orders who were assigned to Christianize the natives were the Augustinians, who came with Legazpi, the Descalced Franciscans, 1578, the Jesuits, 1581, the Dominican Friars, 1587, and the Augustinian Recollects, simply called the Recolitos, 1606. In 1594, all had agreed to cover a specific area of the archipelago to deal with the vast dispersion of the natives. The Augustinians and Franciscans mainly covered the Tagalog country while the Jesuits had a small area. The Philippines is the only blank country in Asia. Letter A. Muslim. Letter B. Buddhist. Letter C. Christian. Letter D. Communist. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter C. Christian. The Philippines is the only Christian country in Asia. The Philippines proudly claims to be the only Christian nation in Asia. With more than 86% of the people is Roman Catholic, 6% belong to various nationalized Christian cults, and another 2% belong to well over 100 Protestant denominations. In social trends, how do you call those who are for the revival of the classics? Letter A. Humanist. Letter B. Reformists. Letter C. Rationalists. Letter D. Existentialists. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter A, humanist. Those who are for the revival of the classics is humanist. A humanist is a person having a strong interest in or concern for human welfare, values, and dignity. A person devoted to or versed in the humanities. A student of human nature or affairs. A classical scholar. When a good action performed on account of an evil motive, what would happen? Letter A. It becomes evil. Letter B. It becomes good. Letter C. It becomes an amoral act. Letter D. It becomes morally good. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter A. It becomes evil. When a good action performed on account of an evil motive, it becomes evil. A good action done on account of an evil motive becomes evil itself. A good action done on account of good purpose acquires additional merit. An indifferent act may either become good or bad depending on the motive. The tax required to be paid annually by all adult citizens of the Philippines is the blank. Letter A, income tax. Letter B, real estate tax. Letter C, community tax. Letter D, inheritance tax. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter C, community tax. The tax required to be paid annually by all adult citizens of the Philippines is the community tax. A community tax certificate is a legal identity document in the Philippines. It is for persons that have reached the age of majority and upon payment of a community tax. It is also considered one of the primary forms of identification in the Philippines. The basic right invoked by filling the writ of amparo is blank. Letter A. The right to due process. Letter B. The right to self-defense. Letter C. The right to life, liberty, and security. Letter D. The right to be defended by a public attorney. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter C. The right to life, liberty, and security. The basic right invoked by filling the writ of amparo is the right to life, liberty, and security. The petition for a writ of amparo is a remedy available to any person whose right to life, liberty, and security is violated or threatened with violation by an unlawful act or omission of a public official or employee, or of a private individual or entity. What do you call the form of government in England with its parliament, a prime minister, and a queen, or king? Letter A, demarchy. Letter B, anarchism. Letter C, ethnocracy. Letter D, constitutional monarchy. Please choose the suitable answer to the following choices in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is the letter D, constitutional monarchy. A constitutional monarchy is a form of monarchy in which the monarch exercises authority following a written or unwritten constitution. Constitutional monarchies differ from absolute monarchies, in which a monarch holds absolute power, in that they are bound to exercise powers and authorities within limits prescribed by an established legal framework. Constitutional monarchies range from countries such as Liechtenstein, Monaco, Morocco, Jordan, Kuwait, and Bahrain, where the constitution grants substantial discretionary powers to the sovereign, to countries such as the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, Spain, Belgium, Sweden, Malaysia, and Japan, where the monarch retains significantly less personal discretion in the exercise of their authority. Which is one of the man-made wonders of the Philippines? Letter A, Manila Bay. Letter B, Taal Volcano. Letter C, Rice Terraces. Letter D, Mount Makiling. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter C, Rice Terraces. Rice terraces are one of the man-made wonders of the Philippines. The structure's original builders used stone and mud walls to carefully carve and construct terraces that could hold flooded pond fields for the cultivation of rice. They also established a system to water these plots by harvesting water from mountaintop forests. Governor-General Narciso Claveria was responsible for the blank. Letter A, abolition of the Galleon trade. Letter B, establishment of the Galleon trade. Letter C, use of Spanish surname by Filipinos. Letter D, establishment of the tobacco monopoly. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter C, use of Spanish surname by Filipinos. Governor-General Narciso Claveria was responsible for the use of Spanish surname by Filipinos. Spanish surnames form the majority of Filipino surnames, and may be divided into these categories: surnames listed in the Catalogo Alfabetico de Apellidos, issued by Governor-General Narciso Claveria y Zaldúa in 1849. It includes most Spanish surnames and several given names for use as a surname. Which are a check on the executive department by the judiciary in the principal check and balance among branches of the government. Letter A, declaring a legislative measure unconstitutional. Letter B, declaring an act of the President unconstitutional. Letter C, determining the salary of the President and Vice President. Letter D, impeachment of the Chief of Justice of the Supreme Court. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter B, declaring an act of the President unconstitutional. The check on the executive department by the judiciary in the principal check and balance is declaring an act of the President unconstitutional. For your information, the executive branch can declare executive orders, which are like proclamations that carry the force of law, but the judicial branch can declare those acts unconstitutional. The judicial branch interprets laws, but the President nominates Supreme Court justices, the Court of Appeals judges, and District Court judges who make the evaluations. Which is the fundamental law of the land? Letter A, Constitution. Letter B, Bill of Rights. Letter C, Civil Criminal Code. Letter D, 10 Commandments. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter A, Constitution. The fundamental law of the land is the Constitution. For your information, The Constitution is a body of fundamental principles or established precedents according to which a state or other organization is acknowledged to be governed. Gregoria de Jesus saw her husband charged for treason by fellow Filipinos who have formed the Philippine Revolutionary Forces to fight Spain. Letter A. José Rizal. Letter B. Emilio Aguinaldo. Letter C. Andrés Bonifacio. Letter D. Marcelo H. del Pilar. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter C. Andrés Bonifacio. Gregoria de Jesus saw her husband Andrés Bonifacio charged for treason by fellow Filipinos who have formed the Philippine Revolutionary Forces to fight Spain. For your information, Andrés Bonifacio y de Castro was a Filipino revolutionary leader and the president of the Tagalog Republic. He is often called the father of the Philippine Revolution. What was the power to set aside definite action by the Kingdom of Spain to the Governor-General of the Philippines? Letter A. Veto power. Letter B. Condign power. Letter C. Conditioned power. Letter D. Compensatory power. Please choose the suitable answer to the following choices in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is the letter A. Veto power. The King of Spain, via his Council of the Indies, Consejo de las Indias, governed through his representative in the Philippines, the Governor-General of the Philippines. With the seat of power in Intramuros, Manila, the Governor-General was given several duties: head of the Supreme Court, the Royal Audiencia of Manila, Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy, and the economic planner of the country. All executive power of the local government stemmed from him, and as regal patron, he had the authority to supervise mission work and oversee ecclesiastical appointments. But the Kingdom of Spain has the power to set aside definite action of the Governor-General of the Philippines. His yearly salary was 40,000 pesos. The Governor-General was commonly a peninsular Spaniard, a Spaniard born in Spain, to ensure the loyalty of the colony to the crown or tierra. What economic policy in the 16th century in Europe influenced Spain's expansionist policy to discover new lands? Letter A. Capitalism. Letter B. Colonialism. Letter C. Mercantilism. Letter D. Spice trading. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter C. Mercantilism. The economic policy in the 16th century in Europe influenced Spain's expansionist policy to discover new lands is mercantilism. For your information, mercantilism was an economic system of trade that spanned from the 16th century to the 18th century. Mercantilism is based on the principle that the world's wealth was static, and consequently, many European nations attempted to accumulate the largest possible share of that wealth by maximizing their exports and by limiting their imports via tariffs. The right invoked in the writ of habeas data is blank. Letter A. Right to transmit data. Letter B. The right to information privacy. Letter C. Right to gather information data. Letter D. The right to search for information. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter B. The right to information privacy. The right invoked in the writ of habeas data is the right to information privacy. For your information, The writ of habeas data is a remedy available to any person whose right to privacy in life, liberty, or security is violated or threatened by an unlawful act or omission of a public official or employee, or of a private individual or entity engaged in the gathering, collecting or storing of data or information. Whose philosophy advocates the use of reason in understanding the existence of God. Letter A, Saint John. Letter B, Saint Peter. Letter C, Saint Benedict. Letter D, Saint Thomas Aquinas. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter D, Saint Thomas Aquinas. The philosophy that advocates the use of reason in understanding the existence of God is Saint Thomas Aquinas. For your information, Saint Thomas Aquinas did not think the finite human mind could know God directly. Therefore, God's existence is not self-evident to us. So instead, the proposition God exists must be demonstrated from God's effects, which are more known to us. What is the possible consequence of meritocracy in a social system? Letter A, culture of elitism. Letter B, rule by those with noble birth. Letter C, leadership by people of talent. Letter D, rule by the wealthy and powerful. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter C, leadership by people of talent. The possible consequence of meritocracy in a social system is leadership by people of talent. For your information, meritocracy is a society whereby jobs and pay are allocated based on an individual's talent and achievement rather than social status. Which constitutional safeguard prevents one branch of government from becoming powerful or abusive? Letter A, Ombudsman. Letter B, laissez-faire. Letter C, impeachment. Letter D, check and balance. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter D, check and balance. The constitutional safeguard prevents one branch of government from becoming powerful or abusive is the check and balance. For your information, under the Constitution, the government has three branches: the executive, legislative, and judicial departments. The separation of powers is for checks and balances. Which country in Asia is the largest? Letter A, China. Letter B, Japan. Letter C, Thailand. Letter D, Philippines. Please choose the suitable answer to the following choices in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is the letter A, China. The largest country in Asia is China, which is 9,706,961 square kilometers, 3,746,887 square miles. China takes up about 6.54% of Earth's total surface area and is the third largest country globally, behind Russia and Canada. China's current population is almost 1.44 billion people, which is the highest in the world. The ninth largest country in Asia, Turkey, is a transcontinental country split between Asia and Europe. While about 95% of Turkey is in Asia, and its largest city, Istanbul, is split between the two continents, it politically identifies more with the West. Because of this, it's challenging to determine which continent Turkey is a part of. Turkey is also the ninth most populous Asian country with over 84.3 million people. The smallest country in Asia is Macau, which is also the eighth smallest country in the world. Macau spans a total of 30 square kilometers, 12 square miles. Macau has a population of almost 650,000 people. What is the predominant characteristic of Eastern religion? Letter A, optimism. Letter B, mysticism. Letter C, pessimism. Letter D, secularism. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter A, optimism. The predominant characteristic of Eastern religion is optimism. For your information, optimism is an attitude reflecting a belief or hope that the outcome of some specific endeavor, or outcomes in general, will be positive, favorable, and desirable. Participation in governance, including the right to vote and seek public office, is secured within the citizenry's blank. Letter A, political rights. Letter B, right of suffrage. Letter C, socio-civic rights. Letter D, right to due process. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter A, political rights. Participation in governance, including the right to vote and seek public office, is secured within the citizenry's political rights. Political rights are the rights that involve participation in the establishment or administration of a government and are usually held to entitle the adult citizen to exercise the franchise, the holding of public office, and other political activities. The tax is imposed on all employed and practicing professionals. Letter A, income tax. Letter B, community tax. Letter C, real estate tax. Letter D, inheritance tax. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter A, income tax. Income tax is the taxes imposed on all employed and practicing professionals. For your information, income tax is a type of tax that governments impose on income generated by businesses and individuals within their jurisdiction. Income tax will fund public services, pay government obligations, and provide goods for citizens. Which policy of the state provides preferential attention to the welfare of the less fortunate members of the Philippine society? Letter A, Bill of Rights. Letter B, social justice. Letter C, criminal justice. Letter D, distributive justice. Please answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter B, social justice. The policy of the state that provides preferential attention to the welfare of the less fortunate members of the Philippine society is called social justice. For your information, social justice is the view that everyone deserves equal economic, political, and social rights and opportunities. Social workers aim to open the doors of access and opportunity for everyone, particularly those in greatest need. Which best describes the division of the legislature into the Senate and the House of Representatives? Letter A, bicameralism. Letter B, unicameralism. Letter C, bipartisanship. Letter D, co-legislative powers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter A, bicameralism. Bicameralism is the practice of having two houses of parliament. Who was the last Spanish Governor-General of the Philippines? Letter A, Fermín Jardines. Letter B, Ramon Blanco. Letter C. Diego de los Rios. Letter D. Basilio Augustin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter C. Diego de los Rios. Diego de los Rios y Nicolau was the last Spanish Governor-General of the Philippines, which demonstrates interconnectedness between social and environmental injustice. Letter A. Extinction of rare animal species. Letter B. Temperature warming and rise of sea level. Letter C. Desertification of verdant regions. Letter D. Industrialized countries toxic disposed to poorer countries. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter D. Industrialized countries toxic disposed to poorer countries. Both social and environmental justice work is sensitive to power issues: who causes pollution, who suffers from contamination, focuses on communities or groups rather than individuals, and adopt a holistic approach to analyzing and addressing problems and reforms.
I hope you enjoyed, learned something new about our topic on the social science exercises, general knowledge set A. If you learned something in this video, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to share this video with your friends to also learn about this topic. If you have comments, questions, and suggestions, you can leave a message in the comments section below. Thank you very much for watching my videos, hoping that we meet again in my next blog, and God bless you always.